Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 50K subscriber live stream. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Eric, and this is the teacher live stream every Sunday. And today we're celebrating something very nice. Every time I hit a milestone, I like to do something special. So today we are doing a live stream as always, but fellow teachers out there, you are welcome to pop in and say hello and share something about yourself. We can have a quick chat. If you want to join and you want to come and say hello, you can pop. There's a link in the description. You click that. If your internet connection and your sound and your video is good, come and say hello. I'll try. If someone's there, I'll let them join and come and say hello. But before we start, let's quickly see who's here first. Ulfa was first, very early. Hi, Ulfa. And my dad's here too. I think my dad will also pop in. He says, hello, everyone. Greetings from Southern Shores. Priya, Nancy, Letty. Hello, Letty. Hello. And Flower Ali. Okay, so guys, before we start, we've already got a guest waiting. Oh, my dad says we have intermittent internet. So that's okay, Dad. No worries. I'm happy that you're here. So I was thinking, if you join, recently I created 10 activities for Thanksgiving, and I will put that video out in a week, in 2 weeks, Tuesday. So in 10 days. So I'll put that out. And I was thinking, I would like to talk about things that are special to you, things that you are grateful or thankful for. And maybe I'll share some of the things that I'm also thankful for, because it's so difficult to focus on the negatives and worries and those things. So I feel like today I want to focus a bit on the positives, because even for myself, I think, I'm too strict sometimes, and I only think about the things that I could do better instead of being grateful for everyone out there. So before I introduce our first guest, Good Choice. Hi, Good Choice. Good to see you. Congratulations. And I'm so happy to see your face. Thank you so much, Good Choice. And then Caffeine. Hello, everyone. Radhika from Mumbai. Modern Maria. Hi, welcome back. Mahesh. We've got Ohidil. Hi, sir. This is Oidil from Singapore. How are you doing? I'm doing fantastic. Hi, folks. How are you doing? We're doing so well. Raymark, hi. And then Elsa. Hi, Elsa. How are you doing? Lynn, Victoria. Martin is here from ELT Experiences. He says, congrats on the 50K. I must go, but we'll rewatch the streams. Thank you so much, Martin. Guys, check out Martin's channel. He also does a live stream, I think tomorrow, every Monday. Luza Ang, good morning all. Buenos dias, Luza Ang from Colombia. Inez from Latvia. Shadman, hi Eric, been waiting for your live stream for a week. Shadman, it's great to have you. Thank you for waiting. Nisha, Paul, good morning from Canada, Eric, and congratulations on reaching 50K. That's amazing growth for your channel. Thank you so much, Paul. Paul did a live stream with me last week, and everybody loved seeing him. Okay, everyone, Herman, Sina, hi, everyone from Istanbul. Hi. Merhaba, Sina, Baljeet, Acolyte, and Nisha. Okay, now back to our first guest. I've left them waiting for so long. Our first guest is Bonnie Esther. Hi, Bonnie Esther.
Hi, welcome and congratulations, Eric. What a treat
Thank
it
you
is
so
for you to
much.
share with us.
I've had Bonnie Esther on before, but I know that many of the teachers here can see your comments. Bonnie Esther, can you tell us a little bit where you're from? What are you up to these days?
I live outside of Boston, Massachusetts, the United States. I train teachers. So what I'm grateful for is that I hear back from them. I tried this strategy out, or I had some positive influence with my parents and my students. So I've been watching you for a couple of years, and I needed some ideas yesterday. So I went back on. I'm like, I'm sure Eric has the answer. I need some speaking activities for higher level students. So thank you for revisiting content as you do. And it's a pleasure to see everybody in Facebook and YouTube world. So
yeah, it's I'm working on a few videos, and I'm looking at making a video for teaching adults, maybe some activities and ideas. So hopefully I'll revisit that in the future. So let me ask you,
Yeah.
what is something in your teaching life or in your life that you're grateful for? Something good that's happening that you want to share with the teachers out there?
I fixed my Zoom account, and so that was a big thing. I couldn't share my Zoom screen. I'm thankful for the incident, as I said, the incidental, a Facebook message or a private message where someone says, "Ask me a question," but then tells me a victory. So the transferring of our knowledge to one another, because we need that, because we are. Somebody said it this way. They said, "Teaching is hard and days are long." And so I just love it. It's like teaching is hard and days are long. So we need to support one another. So I like that. I love that.
I think the great thing about us as teachers connecting to each other is whenever, maybe you've got these ideas or things that you think about, but then as soon as another teacher says it out loud or shares it with you, then suddenly it makes more sense and you gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
So earlier, you were giving me some great ideas for topics we can talk about, and I'm going to steal all of them like I do. So you suggested talking about something that you can't, when you go into the classroom, that you feel awkward if you teach without it. What is something that you need in class or before class to feel totally at ease and comfortable?
Well, when I was back in the classroom, I needed a prop. I needed to have a tool where I could throw something at students. Some people are allergic to these things, these koosh balls or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. So if they're made of latex or something, but I think something to force conversation would be useful. And then, of course, whatever fuel I put in my tank. So I would teach with a drink constantly. So
Same for me. I've always got some water with me. I think when I'm going into a class that I don't know, if I'm teaching and I'm not sure what's going to happen that day, I always need a pack of flashcards with me. I've got them over there actually, and I just feel like, even if you're an experienced teacher, these educational tools, they can really make or break you.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got some comments here, some really nice ones. Mrs. Abiola says hello to everyone. I saw on Instagram she actually bought the book, one of the books I made. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Mrs. Abiola. Where was it? Sorry, I'm just looking through the comments. Luza Ang says, I'm thankful for being able to teach in such different environments and countries. Besides the teaching, I'm thankful for knowing such beautiful people. And that's such a beautiful thing. Now, talking about like lots of different environments and countries, you were telling me that you're really interested in watching Korean dramas at the moment.
Yes.
But you know what I really admire about you, Bonnie Esther, is that you learn these languages and you try and adapt and learn from other cultures and countries constantly. What is something interesting that you picked up that what is something interesting you might have picked up from some country?
Well, I know the Koreans, the way you speak to somebody casually or formally. In Spanish and Portuguese, they have like a tu, which is us, or usted, showing respect. And it's a big deal. And it infiltrates not just the language, but the culture, their way of being. And like, why are you talking to me informally? Because I'm older than you. And those are concepts that we don't have. So when we're teaching students, we're not coming necessarily from that same background understanding. It's really important to know that. So alien to us, but then really important to them. So that's what I appreciate about that.
It's very interesting for me too. I've lived in Korea for a long time, and I've kind of gotten used to it, and I admire a lot of that Confucianism, where the students, they listen and they've got a way that they treat older teachers. But it's different being a foreigner here, where you when I work with older teachers or older people, then I definitely respect that. But with younger students or teenagers, I want them to feel open and free with me, so I won't really have the same standards. It's a strange balancing act that we have to follow.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
We've actually got Migam here too. Migam is also here from South Korea, and then Paul says, "I agree. Having some understanding of various cultural norms help us get through the students." Okay, And Q King is here too. Hello, I'm in now. I've changed my schedule lately after this, but I'll join. Yeah, and Bonnie Esther, yeah, what else is going on with you? I feel like, we always share so much, but I want to make sure we share the most important information.
Yeah, I've been working a lot with school leaders, and for them to understand this thing called language development, it's hard. It's hard for me to look at you and say, do you really understand me? Because people smile. So we have to support them and have those supports, the scaffolds you talk about, ready and available, but we have to develop their language. We can't just like make it baby, like, I want you to get it, Eric. You don't understand much, but that can be so minimizing and defeatist. We really have to encourage language development. How do you do that? Very tricky. So when administrators know, then they can understand what their teachers are doing. You have a lot of flexibility. In the US, we have less flexibility.
It's very rigid in some cases, I understand.
In terms of roles, that's all. Yeah.
So you train a lot of teachers and you work with them, and a big part of our audience are new teachers. So my question is perhaps, what are some of the biggest problems that new English teachers have when they go into the classroom?
I think people are always asking you, what about curriculum? Having something to do. Like it's always better to have more excuse me, I know I'm making this noise, more to fall back on, but having a good lesson, but then having other stuff ready and recognize that everything you do is valuable, but the first time you try it, it's going to be messy. So don't say that failed. Say the first time it's me performing it, directions, but then give it a try. And then you'll kind of see the beauty of something. Is anybody else in this class, by the way? Does anybody else come on?
Oh yeah, guys, let me tell you again. So Bonnie Esther is in here with me, but if you want to join and say hello quickly, there is a link. Let me quickly throw this banner on. There is a link in the description. You click on it. If you want to come and say hello, just make sure you've got a good internet connection. I'm going to be here. I'm chatting with Bonnie Esther, and if you want to come and say hello, just click on the link and come over. But I do see some here. One of the things that I think is tough too, and a lot of teachers ask me about this, is preparing for the different levels. Yeah. So if you have kindergarten students, how do you prepare them differently than you would, elementary students, middle school, high school? And I've also had a lot of teachers that ask about adults. What group do you feel most comfortable in, and what group are you least comfortable with?
Yeah, I would say at middle school to high school for students. Adults, certainly I feel comfortable, but you still have to make things fun and engaging. And it's presenting a concept, and giving them plenty of time to talk, which is your long suit. But I think the little ones, I don't know, I'm pretty good on Facebook with my grandchildren from Laos and North Carolina. We play a lot of games and stuff. So I can be playful. But you don't have to be a playful person, as Paul pointed out last time. You keep your personality, but you adjust to your audience. So Paul had done a great job of that.
Paul just said, it's nice to meet the famous Bonnie Esther.
That's true. No, I enjoyed listening to you.
Yeah, Paul's amazing. I was watching some of his videos earlier too. Yeah, guys, check out Paul's channel, definitely. Trisha's here. Congratulations, Eric. Thank you, Trisha.
I'm happy.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm looking at now is, I feel like I want to, for me, it was really tough working with young kids, very young kids, because you've got to add more energy, you've got to play more games, you've got to do it, and when I first started teaching, I was quite strict, and I didn't want to just play games, and I would rather let the students lead the class. I'm more of a facilitator. What was that question we had last week? We had a question last week about, are you an entertainer, an enabler, or those roles as teachers? Do you remember that?
No, I don't, but that'd be great to revisit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But anyway, so for me, young kids, they're really tough. So that's why I'm making these videos for young kids. It's a nice way to challenge myself and to learn.
Yes, and having a set routine with the little ones. They want a pattern. This is where we do opening time. This is where we do this kind of time. Now we do the sit down time. And so they need more structure. There's some pretty good people on YouTube who I watch and I go, how are they doing this? And there's the mom, they're doing online, fascinating, but lots of patterns, repetition, you know.
Here we go.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Paul actually remembered. He said, so you get an explainer, an involver, or an enabler. I'd like to look up exactly what those means, but I think you can get like a general idea. So if you had to be one of them, which one would you be?
I wish I were more of the involver. But sometimes I can, like a good story and to hear my own voice, because that's why we start to be teacher. We want control over our universe, right? So, but an enabler, that could be negative, right? But I'm going to look at it as an asset. Like I'm coming alongside, and so there's principles called UDL what is it? UDL says let's build in those structures from the beginning, so that kids don't have to ask for them. Universal design for learning. Yeah.
Well, I think what I think is every teacher's going to have some of those elements. Obviously, you might have a stronger element. Like if I look at this, obviously, at some points you explain stuff. At some points you try and involve the students. I like to think of myself as an enabler, where I get the students to do things. It's that lazy side that comes out of me, but it's also fun, especially if you're teaching with the aim of getting them to communicate more.
Yes.
I think it's really important. We've got a nice comment here. We do have someone new. Can you see who it is? Bonnie Esther, who's coming next?
Caffeine Bonds?
No,
that's what I see. I can't see anything else besides that.
Okay. Yeah. So, Bonnie Esther, your insights are like a compass and keep us on the right path. And then Paul also said, I was all of them at any point. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So, Bonnie Esther, before we let our next guest on, any tips on teaching science? I like to give the difficult questions to other people.
Yeah, I've seen that. But certainly science lends itself well to language, because there's observations and you can talk about the observations, but there's a lot of cause and effect language in science. So if teachers can find ways to teach those structures, if this happens, then that happens. So there's some built-in things that you have, and science can be easy, like animals and endangered species. So there's a lot of entry points in science. I like to start with biology, less than physics, which is more conceptual, because you can kind of see biology. So, and I used to teach science to newcomers and loved it. My husband's a physicist, and so I'm not afraid of it, but there's lots of entry points. So,
well, fantastic advice. I enjoy science too and biology, but you gave some great tips there. Bonnie Esther, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been fun. Congratulations. 50K. Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good day, and I'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, teachers.
And now we've got our next guest, Letty. Hi.
Hello.
It's lovely to see you. How are you today?
I'm fine. I just thought I was coming to say hello to Juanita. I didn't know I was going to be here for longer. I just wanted to try this new thing that you have available today.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Letty, it's always lovely to see you. Before you go, or if you want to go, I see we've got a next guest too. But what is something that you're grateful for? What's going on in your life? What is something you'd like to share with the audience out there?
Right. I'm grateful that things are getting better here, and I can enjoy my everyday life a little better. And I just hope for peace and calm for everybody.
Do you know this sign? So,
no.
This? Okay, so in Korea, I don't know, it's probably in other countries too. So instead of like doing the heart or like doing the big heart, they do like a small heart like this. So it's easy. It's like if, let's say you did the peace sign, but that just means it's like the heart sign that you say.
So your thumb is behind your finger.
It's just about the shape looking like a heart. So it's like a kind gesture. And for that nice comment you left, I wanted to make this sign. So Letty, thank you so much for joining. It's always lovely having you.
Thank you for saying hello to me, and good luck with everything.
Yeah. And feel free to join in whenever you want to. It's always lovely to see you.
No, I just wanted a minute to say hello, and that was it. Okay, then. Thank you.
Okay, Leti. Have a lovely
Bye.
day. Bye-bye. And then we've got Luza Ang. Hello, Luza Ang. Luza Ang, can you hear me?
Hello, good morning over here, everybody. Good morning.
Buenos dias, Luza Ang. I know my pronunciation is still bad.
Can you
How are you
hear
today?
me? No, it's great.
Yes, I can.
Buenos dias. Good morning. I am fine, thank you. I am fine. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit slow, but I want to know what's going on in your life. And what are you grateful for?
Before, I'm
Luza, I'm sorry, it's a little bit slow. I think there's a
grateful
problem with
for, as I mentioned before,
sorry, Luza Ang, I think the
when
internet
you
is a
were
little bit slow there.
speaking,
So,
now I hear very, very slowly the communication.
okay. It's maybe on
Yeah.
my side. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Luza Ang, I'm going to quickly move to Migam's question. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for popping in. You know,
Yes, yeah. You take care. You
okay.
take care. You take care.
Thank you, Luza Ang. Have a lovely day, and
Okay,
I'll
don't
see
worry.
you
You
soon.
take care.
Okay. Okay, and Migam has a question before I get to our new guest, and she asks, "How do you guide students who don't participate in group activities?" Now, this is a very difficult one. How to motivate our students to actually participate in class? Migam, let me give me a second. I'm just going to introduce or wait, let me think about it. So if you want to add a student, sometimes the students, they don't work well with others, or they just don't feel motivated to do it. It could be because they're shy. It could be that they've got a problem with their classmates. It could be that, you know, that they just don't want to work. But we need to find a reason to participate in the class. You know, what's nice is, so first of all, maybe make sure that the activities are fun and it focuses on the students and it gets them to share things about their lives and their interests. I think that's the first thing we want to focus on. And then, you know, you make it easy for them, I think is also important. So make sure that you ask the students to do some examples before you put them into their groups for those activities and projects. So make sure every student knows exactly how to do it and what is expected of them. And, you know, you want to make sure that they know that they're going to be tested in front of class. So when I do group activities, once they finish, I'm going to ask random students to perform. And if the students know that they're going to be asked to perform, then they're more likely to do that. I think I can give some more ideas, but I think those are the important ones. If a student doesn't want to, make sure that you put them aside and say, okay, well, come with me. Let's talk about it. You know, because while the other students are busy, if it's just one or two students, say, oh, let's talk about it, you know, or talk to me after school about it, you know. So, yeah, make that relationship with the students. Okay. Bonnies, Migam, I hope that helped. And then our next visitor, Dushyant, hi.
Hey, hi, how are you, Eric?
I'm
Actually,
excellent. How are you
I'm
today?
good. I'm good too. I'm good too. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm really glad the channel like yours exists, because I had a pretty terrible last week with the students. They were constantly noisy, and I'm really glad I found your channel. And I hope some of your techniques, whatever that you suggested, I hope they'll be useful for you. Yeah. Thanks a
I'm
lot. I
sure.
even subscribed to your channel,
Oh,
joined
thank you so much,
membership as well. Yeah.
Dushyant. So, what grade do you teach?
I teach grade 5 to 7, but only grade 6 are having offline classes. They particularly are very notorious batch.
Grade sixes. How old are they? They're 12,
They
13?
would be 15 minus, yeah, 11. They would be about 11.
Yeah, they're tough at that time. So yeah, I think when it comes to those students, I made a few videos on classroom management. I hope some of the tips help. But you know what? I think that if a teacher comes and like yourself, looking for information and trying to improve, just know deep in your heart that things will get easier and you will become better. Just
I
100%
hope
that
so.
will happen.
I hope so. In fact, they're a bad bunch of lovely students. In fact, outside the classroom, they're the sweethearts, the most sweethearts you can see. They give me food, they give me this, they come hug me after the class, but inside the class, they have zero interest in whatever I'm doing. I
I
just
think
hope, yeah.
I know what you mean. So I think there's something that happens that they feel like that is the classroom culture. I've seen that before. I think I did a video about resetting the class. Have you
I've seen that. I've
seen
seen that. Yeah, just
I think
yesterday.
that's what you need to do, like a hard reset, because you're very positive about the kids. I can see that you love them. So now it's just creating that structure. And you know what? I think they deep down they really want that. They want that structure and they want that organization in the class.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, where in India are you?
Maharashtra.
Marash. Okay.
Maharashtra. Yeah.
Maharashtra. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad has been in India before, but I've never had the pleasure. Hopefully in the future.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Well,
Okay. Thank you so
yeah.
much for joining. And I hope I can share some more things in the future.
Sure. Thank you very much, Ed.
Have a
I'm
great
really
day.
glad channel like yours exists.
That makes me really happy. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming to say hello. The time flies by. If you want to pop in and say hello, feel free to. I'm quickly going to go through the comments. I apologize. I've been busy chatting. I didn't have a chance to go through the comments. Different level groups are really challenging. Try to work in projects. Very smart, JL. Sorry, it's a bit slow. I'm going. Wow, Bonnie Esther, you also picked it up. Letty looks gorgeous today. Yeah, Letty, you look amazing. Are you getting into the sun? How is that possible? You need to start sharing your secrets. Yeah. Where am I? Sorry, guys. I need to go from the top and go down. Amjad says, "Hi, guys. It's great to hear both of you. All us have students and didn't want to learn or interact. How do you approach such, especially when time is limited? Have a great Sunday." I think I did a video on student motivation that can help. I'll look it up in a second. Here we go. Any tips on teaching science? Amjad, you were next. I'll look that up for you now, Amjad. But yeah, it's all about creating an environment in the class where the students enjoy participating. They feel like what they're learning is valuable. And then you also want to put a little bit of pressure on them to say that I'm watching you and I want you to perform well. I want you to study. I want you to improve. So even, with my classes, I do have some students that, they're difficult to talk. I can think of one boy in particular where he never wanted to say anything, but he keeps on coming back to class. And now I've got him where he's so used to responding and I put him into groups. I praise him a lot for when he does something good. So you want to make them feel like they're part of the class and they're doing it. Namrata asked, hi, how are you? I'm doing really well. I'm very grateful because actually I'm going to go and see my parents. I bought my tickets. I'll go to South Africa in 2 months. So I'm very happy. But here we've got another story of Gina I want to talk about. Hello there. You are so helpful. I've been to China once. I've been teaching there. But unfortunately, my dream didn't last long because they've locked me out for 1 month. And then I've paid a huge fine then. And they deported me. I felt so depressed, but now I'm gathering my strength again and I'm willing to move to Vietnam. I hope I can do that despite the high cost of the fees. Gina, I know it's really difficult. We've got these dreams to teach somewhere and to build our lives up. And, there are obstacles in the way. But once you find that place and once you succeed, you're going to be stronger. You're going to be happy for all the effort you put in. And my hope for you is that it happens soon and that you can, you can find a job that you want and be in a situation that you want. It's a weird balance, guys. I feel like sometimes I put a lot. Letty said it before. Eric, you said that you put a lot of pressure on yourself to succeed. I said yes. You've got to be grateful for what you've got, but you've also have to push yourself to improve. So it's kind of a balancing act. And let's go through these a little bit. Your insights are like a compass that keeps us on the right path. What a nice one, Caffeine. Any tips on teaching? Oh, sorry, I'm going through them now. Sylvania, good morning. That's amazing to listen to both of you. By the way, guys, if you want to come and say hello, I'm just going to read through some of the comments, and then let me put this on. You can look in the description and come and say hello. Just make sure that your internet works well and your sound and your video, and then you can come and say hello. Caffeine. Hi, Letty. Hi, Letty. Letty, my friend, nice to see you again. Wow, lots of people saying hello. And Mrs. Abiola. Rachid, how can we turn students from merely passive receptacles of knowledge to contributors in the teaching process? Make it about your students. Have active lessons where the students get to share. And also give them the opportunity. Start asking them simple questions and then build it up from there. I don't read anything to my students. My students read everything in class if we're doing something. I try and get them involved as much as possible and limit the teacher talking time. Yara, hello. Can I have help with the kid behavior? He's smart, older than the rest of my kids. And the problem is he acts like a grown-up person, interrupting the teacher and so active. That is a difficult one. For some reason he's older and he wants to stand out. This is a big problem actually in Korea, where if I put students with an older partner, the younger students, they always first ask each other, how old are you? And then from there they can establish the hierarchy. It was actually funny. Friday I went out and I was out with a friend, and we're just outside, and this boy came to talk to me, and he was actually kind of rude at the start, and he asked me how old I am, and I said, no, how old do you think I am? And he said 25, and I was like, oh, so wrong by a decade. But I didn't tell him. I said, yeah, sure, 25. He's like, I think he was like he's told me 27 or something. I think it was more like 24. But then the way that he interacted with me, I almost got a giggle. I just said, yeah. And then he noticed that something was wrong. And he's like, are you really 25? And after some time, I said, no, but don't worry about it. Just don't be that rude in the future. And showed him my ID, just to show him how old I was. And then immediately there was a change in him. Long story short, but Yara, with that student, I don't always tell teachers to do this, but I think you let him be a leader. Let him help you in class, but make it come from a positive side and make him understand that he shouldn't hold it over the other students, right? Tell him, please don't interrupt me, because that's a very rude thing to do, to interrupt someone. Tell him, listen, I'm trying to teach, I'm trying to help all the students, but if I'm being interrupted and and you take over, the other students don't get the opportunity to learn. So why don't you help us? And in groups, they can actually share too, and it's also tough if you've got a student that is, quite frankly, a different level from your students. Get them to answer, but that's why you ask the other students by their names to answer things too. So I've got like a list of the students' names, and I like to run through it. Or if I'm in a classroom, I try and ask all the students questions. That way you involve everyone. And if he does interrupt, just reprimand him in a soft way. Just say, listen, I need you to work with us. Let's give everyone a chance. Okay. So yeah, come from that side. Bonnie S says here, I have learned the finger heart from Korean dramas, definitely. And Animation Hub says goodbye. Sorry, Animation Hub, have a lovely day. Piriatu, can you give us how to make students know the difference in sounds of think and there. Think and there. I have a lot of questions to ask about teaching. Okay, so think and there. You want to make sure that they know how to, where the tongue and the teeth is. There, and what was the other one? Think and there. It's there, but with there, it's a little bit longer. Think there. So it's a longer sound. Focus on it, and then get the students to practice it with them. Do it slowly, and then I think that's the advice to give. I'm sure there's better advice out there, but that's all I can think of right now. Periatsu, I hope that helps. Yeah, just make sure that they understand that the there is a longer sound, and get them to oh, by the way, let them practice it out loud for a long time, right? So instead of just saying think and there, let them accentuate it. There. Play a game with them. There. Think. And then they can feel the difference much better too. Paul says, as language teachers, I firmly believe we are involved in encouraging peace. Okay. Well, everyone, if you want to join, come and link here. Otherwise, I feel like I can see that we've still got someone here. Bonnie Esther, would you like to join again? I can see you there. Yeah? Thumbs up. Hi. Well, I saw you there, and it's such a waste just to have me here, not you. So I would love to have you in here. You've read some of the chats. Is there anything interesting that you can that you see that you would like to talk about?
Well, I wasn't reading all of them because I have too many devices open. But the th and the th, that's about the vibration. So this is not vibrating. And so when you say there, so that's the distinction. One is there, and think just from your mouth. So a lot of those practice, and then having the same word be two different ways, and then holding, like you're right about holding those out. And the Spanish, a lot of people want to put a S or a D instead of that sound. So you have to practice that with those students who need it.
See, I wish I always had you on the sideline just to tap you in. It's almost like wrestling where you're like, please come in. Because, I feel like I'm currently studying a lot about helping the students with helping with phonics and pronunciation. So I want to make more videos on that. So it's so helpful to have you with me, because it's not really a strength of mine. Okay, so here we've got one about differentiation. Caffeine actually asks, how can we plan a lesson with differentiation? I struggle in that section of teaching. Do
you mean by proficiency level? And so do you think that that's what that means?
Having different students and, differentiating the lesson to appeal to all the students of different levels or different, skills,
So, if you have students that are by proficiency level, you have a better chance of they're all going to get this. But if not, you're going to have maybe sometimes when you're asking for responses that are smaller, shorter, or more elaborate. So sometimes we need a couple of different question prompts, like when you put them in groups to say, you can pick this one or you can pick this one. So I think that's a nice way to do it. And then if you have reading material, we all want to be reading age-appropriate text, but sometimes you have to have a leveled text. So places like Breaking News English has great leveled texts. But it really depends on what kind of differentiation you're talking about.
I think you're 100% correct. It's having giving the students the option. So if you give them different options of things that they can try out or different activities, and what I like open-ended activities where the students fill in. You just give them a target and they fill it in with their thoughts, their creativity, and what they want to do. And then, when you talk to the text, the level tests, I think a fun way too is if you've got a level test and you take out some of the words and they have to fill it themselves. That's also really
you reminded me of that great strategy. Yeah, and if you pepper things like lots of different activities, then you're going to make everybody feel involved anyway. So you don't want to stick with anything for too long. Right.
Very true. I think having enough activities and splitting them up is really useful. What I was reading something recently about jigsaw activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, if I have a piece of text, I would give you the first paragraph. Well, hopefully it's not too sequential. One paragraph, somebody else, and then they share back out. So they're learning summarization. They're using the vocabulary that they found in the text. So jigsaw activities are always great. It's like the workshop model. And then they only responsible for a small part.
Exactly. So I like that you said workshop model. I saw it in many like teachers workshops. But I think the main thing is, in that effect, the students get to share knowledge, just like we're talking about teaching here, and we're sharing ideas, asking questions. So if you can have some activities where the students work with each other to work and feed off of each other, that's also a nice way to differentiate, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bonnie Esther, I want to quickly get another teacher in here. Can I swap you out for 1 second?
Please. I don't want to hug. No. And where's your dad?
No, the thing is, I love having you on, and I would just always have you on, but I'm not sure how long someone else will be on.
Go. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Bonnie Esther. And then we've got Maria. Hello, Maria.
Hi.
How are you today?
Eric. I'm doing well. I'm in the Philippines, so it's evening time here. It's 9:41.
Okay. I love the
It's
Philippines.
good to see you.
Where in the Philippines are you from?
I'm from Cebu.
Cebu. I love Cebu.
Yeah,
That's the
you've
very
been
last
here.
city I was in 2 years ago before outside of Korea. Yeah. I went
How do
to
you find
Siargao.
Cebu? Siargao. Yeah, that's south of Cebu. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about you, Maria. What do you do?
I'm a teacher. I teach Japanese. I teach English to Japanese adults. Most of my students are working adults. So I handle a special class. It's an old method. It used to be taught in London. It's called Cullen method.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
How do you spell that?
CALLAN.
Cullen method. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a direct method. So it's like just a speaking drill. So yeah, that's what I teach to Japanese adults.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, I would say. Although it kind of gets tiring sometimes, because it's in the class I have to ask the students a lot of times and repeat the questions and throw the answers right away.
Yeah, that repetition can get tiring. So you're teaching adults. I'm working on a video for teaching adults. So do you have any tips or strategies when you're working with adults that makes it easier for you to deal with them?
Well, yes, with my students, they're Japanese. Most of them are really courteous in the class, very and very polite. They always do what you tell them to do. So pretty much it's very easy to handle them as compared to other nationals, I would say. The tip, it would have to be maintain a routine in the class. You have to stick to the routine, and so students won't be taken aback, the next time that you have their lesson.
They definitely want to feel comfortable when teaching young kids, when teaching adults. When they know what to expect, it makes teaching so much easier. And actually, Migam asks a great question here. And Migam, you won't believe this, but Bonnie Esther suggested the same question at the start too. She says, I think it would be informative if you all share your stories that you struggled in teaching. So instead of talking about what works, how about you, Maria? What are some stories of times when you were teaching and it just didn't work?
I'm sorry. Can I have the question again?
Yeah, what are some struggles that you had with teaching? Maybe when you first started, or what were some
Oh,
difficulties that you had?
oh, definitely advanced level students.
Uh,
Yeah, they have this, like, because they try to dominate in the class, and
mm,
yeah, those students, pretty much they're very easy to handle, but um and especially when you choose a topic for them, and for
they don't care.
teachers like
Uh,
me,
uh,
right, and they get easily bored in the
they're
class.
like, Psh,
Yeah,
I've done this before. Yeah.
right, right.
Uh,
Yes, and they look uninterested.
hmm.
Yeah.
That is very difficult. So when you're teaching some students and they're advanced, and you think, oh, how can I help them improve? I think that is very
Hmm.
difficult.
Right.
Yeah, but I think what's important is setting goals. We don't have to set the goals for our students. We can help them, but if they're at an advanced level, we ask them, okay, so what do you want to achieve? And then from there, you can use more
Right.
realia, you can use more advanced things for them to start sharing. Maybe you can help them say things in a better way, I think, is something that could have happened.
Right.
Miriam,
Right. Rephrasing.
my
Yeah, I think
my biggest
that's
problem
helpful.
was when I first started teaching with I was at a very difficult school, and um, yeah, classroom management. I had 40 students. They were 10 and 11 years old, and it was just so difficult. For a whole year, I was just struggling with these kids, struggling to
Yeah.
teach them. Is
Mhm.
there one more thing you want to talk about, Maria? Anything you want to chat about?
Nothing in particular. I just want to say hi, and it's so good to see you and have a chat with you. I've been
It's
your
lovely
avid
to have
follower
you.
for a couple of weeks now. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, thank you so much for joining. It's great to see you, and thank
Mhm.
you for talking about your experience.
Thank you too. I hope to see you again. Bye.
Every Sunday, I'm here for the live stream. Have a lovely day, Maria.
I'll stick around. Yes. Bye bye. See you.
Bye bye. Okay, yeah, guys. I think like Megamast, it's so useful to talk about it, and I about our difficulties too, because I remember, and I've told this story before, but I was recently thinking about it again. I was I was studying to become a teacher, and I was in a lecture hall, and um, it was all about classroom management. One of the things that a lot of teachers fear is, how do I take control of a class of students? And I remember 200 or 300 students were in this hall, and a teacher had to come and talk about classroom management. The teacher that came in was this. He was a principal at one of the boys' high schools before in town. So he was really big, really strict. And we asked him, so how do you control a class? And he just said, like this. And he just stared down a girl. And I just thought that was, that's not a way to teach. So we've got to be open and share our problems and or our successes and everything that happens. And then we can learn from there. I see here, just to answer some questions. Okay. Okay, we've got teacher Grant here. He says he can just hear he can listen and happy to answer questions, but he can't come on the camera at the moment. I have a mic though. Okay, Grant, I'm going to add you up, and you can come and say hello. Grant, hi.
Hey, how's it going? Can you
I'm
hear me okay?
good. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from the States, from California.
Okay, well, lovely to have you, Grant. What do you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
I'm currently teaching in China, though. I work at an international kindergarten, and since I've been in China, probably the last 5 years, I've been here and there kind of teaching online.
Hmm.
And I've branched outside of China, actually, online-wise, and I found a good group of students in Vietnam. That seems to be in my opinion, I think it's a pretty big gold mine, if you ask me, with all the regulations coming in
Hmm.
China. I keep saying that people need to think outside China. And, there's a lot of countries in Asia that desire English teachers. It's not only China and, South
Well,
Korea.
that's really positive news, So there are all these students out there looking for
And
English teachers, and especially I
Vietnam,
think right before things open up.
So
It hmm.
yeah. Uh-oh. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still, I can hear. Sorry, I was talking
Oh,
over you.
okay. Oh, no worries, no worries. So I didn't catch what the main topic was, but I'm happy to pour my 2 cents in whatever it was that you had in mind.
Well, since you
I think you
focus on
mentioned
online teaching,
struggles or what works, what doesn't work, right?
right?
Well, when it comes to online, I think my strategy has always been trying to make it a class for them, not a class for me. And if you end up making it a class for the students, they're more likely to want to actually be involved and actually look forward to coming to your class. And the goal is because we are going to actually have more pull, to say the least, because we're going to be able to do what we want eventually. And the parents are going to say, oh, this actually works. Why are you doing it this way? Because it should be done that way. But they're going to realize, oh, you're doing it this way, and my son or daughter is actually improving in whatever it is you're teaching them, So if you make it a class for them, something that they can actually look forward to, then I would be more than confident to say 95% of the time, it's going to be positive. It's got to be a positive experience.
Wow, that's great advice, Grant. I think you're 100% right. If the students feel like they're building a relationship and they feel like it's about them, they're improving, and they're happy to come to your class, their parents are going to notice that they want to go to class and that they're enjoying it. I think it's very important, especially if you're teaching online. And I think more and more teachers are going to have to learn these skills on how to engage the students, especially online, make it about them, make it fun, make it interesting, and make them feel like they're learning and building this relationship with a native speaker.
And just to give you a short story, I have a student who's 6 years old. I had a plan in my mind that I was going to do. And then because she likes games, and then her mom wants her just basically, she's like, I just wanted to speak and listen. It's basically that's the mother's request, And all of a sudden she's like, I want to talk about dinosaurs. And I had something else planned. So quick little Bing search. I found a little picture and we went through the dinosaur names, and she knew some of them in Chinese. I'm like, okay, you tell me what they are in Chinese. I'll tell you what they are in English. And just to have a heads up, try to find the dinosaur names that you actually can pronounce. Because but be ready. Like, you might get someone who's really fascinated about, I don't know, about wild animals or about traveling. Do a quick Bing search and just type ESL travel, and you'll get keywords right there and then, and you'll have something. Bing's your friend, or if you're in China, or Google, I suppose. Just have that picture image, blow it up, zoom in, and again, and then all of a sudden they're talking more. Maybe you had a boring lesson about, I don't know, indirect and direct speech or something like that, and they weren't really like following it. And then you're like, okay, well, they like video games, or they like robots or whatever. You can pretty much turn video games into a direct and indirect speech topic by just thinking about video game dialogue. Okay, well, what if I don't know, Mario said this and the princess said that? You make it relatable to them, and they're going to be on fire. And I'm telling you, I've been this for about 2 years. I've been investing my time. That's another thing too. It's invest your time, do some free demos, get yourself noticed out there. I'm doing this with a big group of Vietnamese parents, doing it over a year. And I didn't really realize how important my classes were, because there was an incident between two students. They were bickering And between IMs, I didn't really know this. And then the mother's like, I'm going to have to suspend him from your classes because he wasn't focused and paying attention. I'm like, whoa, that kind of like grew a light bulb. Like, wow, my classes are actually that like important. Like, and he wanted to be in class. Like, they
Wow.
want to come to class. Like, oh, I have to go to piano class, but I really want to go to your class. I'm like, hell yeah. You know, like,
that must be the best feeling in the world, where
oh,
the parents
God,
are using you as punishment by them not being able to join
it
your
is.
class.
It breaks my heart, but at the same time, it kind of, because at one point I'm like, oh, I'm just reading stories with them, and they're just, and because there's so many students, I don't really have time to give that feedback, because there's like 10 to 15 students joining at a time, so they're reading. And if I have that chance, I'll give a quick feedback here and there, but it's not as and it's not as personable, but it is at the same time. I always say that now I'm trying to develop these VIP classes, like smaller groups, more inclusive, and then they can actually get that feedback. And that's what I'm strategizing. This is like, I guess, phase 2 or phase 3, whatever it is at. And that's what you got to do. So I would also advise you start getting these students and doing free classes, 30 to 40 minutes twice a week. Get your name out there, make yourself known, noticeable, and the parent, okay, well, what do I need to pay? You know, or what could I do? How can my child join you in a smaller group? You know, I know it's not feasible for a lot of teachers who are maybe struggling, but it's definitely a way to get your name noticed.
Wow, Grant, so much value. You just shared so many great ideas for teaching online, and I guess, using all these resources to engage your students, and also to, to be successful and find students and do it. I just want to say thank you so much. great ideas.
Yeah, thanks for having me up, and hopefully we get a chance to talk again soon.
I'd love to talk to you again. We should try and reach out, and I'd love to talk to you because you've got so much value that I know that a lot of teachers want to find out. So if you want to,
I'm happy
in
to
the
do
private
that.
chat, you can just add me
Yeah,
on
I'll
Facebook
send you
or
a private
something, and
message
then
now,
okay.
and do my Facebook link, and then we can connect there as well.
Thank you so much, Grant. Have a lovely day, and I'll chat to you a little bit later.
Definitely. All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, I'm going to ask Bonnie Esther back in a second, but first, I just wanted to see here. Cheryl, you said you're going to join. Everyone's waiting for you. Even Maria is always also waiting for you. Teodoro, you said you might join. Yeah, guys, I see we've got so many people joining. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's bring in Bonnie Esther's been here the whole time. Let's bring her back if that's okay, Bonnie Esther. Hi.
Hi. I hope I can answer the question about brainstorming.
That's why I'm bringing you on. That's why I was clicking on it. So we've got a question here, and I thought this might be a great one to share too. Please, Eric, I want any videos about brainstorming. I don't have any videos about brainstorming. So
it's a great topic. Yeah, I think brainstorming is phenomenal because it's kids or students coming up with words, especially vocabulary, words and ideas that they can build upon. So I think brainstorming is great when you have like a web and you put something in the middle of the web. If you said houses, you'd say styles, colors, materials they're made of, locations, and they're naturally developing language to do so. And it's nice to kind of keep those in categories and make a poster later. So if we are brainstorming materials, keep that poster up for a while, have it available so students can build up it, because we want the repetition in vocabulary. So getting their ideas. So I assume that's kind of what you're talking about, but it could be something else.
Yeah, no, I think definitely when you have like a mind map or, you've got a mind web. So what I've found is when you're teaching your students how to make it, and you give them the example and you put them into their groups, and you give them different topics to brainstorm with friends, it's also a useful time for you to walk around and to kind of guide them in the right direction, because often this is also a skill they're learning, not just for English, but also a way of thinking and doing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, other ways to brainstorm. I think it's so useful because the students have to work together, so it's a collaborative
Yes.
thing, and it's
Yeah.
not just one student putting all the
Yeah.
pressure on.
And it's
them.
also typical language. When we say brainstorm, I'm thinking of how about there's language, there's sentence frames that you can develop to be able to participate in a conversation. You'll get a lot of transfer there. So whatever happens, keep those ideas to revisit them, right? So they'll really own them instead of just, I saw some ideas one day. Just recycle things.
I think what's also important is having a goal to the brainstorming. If you're only just doing brainstorming, it's just
Yes.
brainstorming. But if you tell them, okay, I want you to brainstorm, and then I want you to write an essay about it,
Perfect.
or brainstorm, and then I want you to use this vocabulary for a role play or something else. There should be a secondary goal afterwards. So brainstorming is just the way that they start, and then if there's another way for them to take it further,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
also great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think our hour is up. It's been amazing, everyone. Bonnie, Esther, I want to say thank you to you for joining,
pleasure.
being here, and being able to tap in. You've shared some great things, and everyone coming in before. Everyone, thank you so much. Okay, Bonnie, Esther, have a good day.
Ciao, ciao.
I'm also going
Bye-bye.
to say bye now. Everyone, thank you for coming. It was lovely having you. I want to say I'm thankful to all of you for your kind support, for reaching 50,000 subscribers. It's a big deal to me, and I hope that I can continue sharing some good ideas. Everyone, have a lovely week, and I'll see you all next week. I'm Eric from Edacute, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.